Ripple has been in the news quite a bit for an SEC lawsuit claiming that the cryptocurrency is a security rather than a cryptocurrency. Despite the lawsuit, the price has actually risen over time. Outside of that, Ripple is a very interesting cryptocurrency that many have speculated could replace the US dollar as the world reserve currency. Personally, we find this unlikely, but Ripple does offer some benefits compared to the US dollar, and an argument can be made for why XRP could replace the US dollar. Stick with me till the end to find out more. If this sounds like something of much interest to you, be sure to check out this new video starting now. Hello everyone and welcome to our channel, where we talk about the latest updates on XRP and the cryptocurrency world in general. If this is your first time watching one of our videos, we happily send you a special welcome. We invite you to hit on the notification bell so you never miss another video. We are announcing that this channel has a giveaway of 200 XRP. To stand the chance of participating, all you have to do is simply subscribe to the channel, like this video and comment with the hashtag XRP, and the winner will be announced on the 15th of April. XRP is the native token of Ripple. XRP is a little different from other cryptocurrencies for a few reasons. Ironically, these reasons are also why the company is currently facing a lawsuit by the SEC. Anyway, here are some bullet points on what XRP actually is and how it works. XRP is a bridge currency because it serves as the native token across a network of gateways that allow users to send and receive many different types of fiat currency and cryptocurrency. XRP is not mined, the currency was pre-mined. Computing power is mostly provided by bank servers. XRP is more of a replacement for SWIFT than a currency. XRP works more as a replacement for SWIFT, the system used for international money transfers, than as an actual currency. Now, what exactly will it take for XRP to become the world reserve currency? It will take a lot for XRP to become the world reserve currency. This section will cover some of those things. However, it's important to note that even if XRP can meet all these criteria, it is still unlikely that XRP will become the world reserve currency. Becoming the world reserve currency is a big ask. Firstly, China's attempt at becoming the world reserve currency must fail. A huge, major problem at XRP becoming the world reserve currency is China. China has a very clear goal of turning the Chinese yuan into the world reserve currency. This is obvious by China's One Belt One Road initiative, OBOR, that calls for China building trading infrastructure in nearly 80 countries. Trading infrastructure in so many countries implies that the Chinese yuan will become the world reserve currency. That is something that Ripple must compete with in order to become the world reserve currency. Secondly, Ripple must resolve its SEC lawsuit. Ripple currently faces an SEC lawsuit because the SEC claims that Ripple advertised itself as a cryptocurrency rather than a security. The SEC likely has a good argument with this case, and it is something that Ripple must handle before they can move forward with becoming a world reserve currency. Albeit there are alternatives like moving the company to a country like Japan that considers Ripple a cryptocurrency. The company will still not be able to operate in the US until it can handle this SEC lawsuit. They already lost their listing on some cryptocurrency exchanges like Coinbase and Binance because of the SEC lawsuit. To summarize, Ripple must resolve its lawsuit with the United States government before it can move forward to becoming a world reserve currency. Thirdly, countries must hold XRP. Finally, one of the most important hurdles for XRP becoming the world reserve currency is that countries must hold XRP in reserve. This sounds like a tall task at the moment, but things are quickly changing with the near infinite printing of fiat currency by central banks in response to all issues. Basically, fiat currencies are not the major safe haven that they used to be a few years because central banks have decided to debase their fiat currencies. This could provide a chance for XRP to slip into the balance sheets of some central banks. We do find this extremely unlikely. However, something like this happening is still a possibility. What is the future of Ripple or XRP? Please, do not forget to subscribe to our channel and also hit that notification bell to be the first person to get more updates about the latest happenings as regards to XRP. XRP likely does not have a future as a world reserve currency. That is simply not the point of the XRP, nor does it appear that enough countries will decide to hold it in reserve for this to occur. The most likely future of Ripple and XRP is as a replacement for SWIFT. For those that do not know, SWIFT is a system used to transfer money across borders between banks. If you have ever sent an international wire transfer, then you probably used SWIFT. It's slow with transactions taking a few days to a few weeks. The fees are also high for something as basic as transferring money. Another point often forgotten about SWIFT is that the US government is highly involved with its operations because of the US status as the world reserve currency. The US government has seized intra-European transfers and put pressure on European banks for providing banking services to Iran. Ripple, on the other hand, takes a few seconds to transfer money across the world. The fees on Ripple are also fractions of a cent. Ripple is simply better than SWIFT for transferring large amounts of money, and it has less problems with the US government interfering in transfers between parties. Though if Ripple becomes popular, then the US government would likely exert some influence over the free flow of funds between countries. But is traditional cryptocurrency still better? The thing with Ripple is that it's mostly just a replacement for SWIFT and money transfers. It is not actually a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Ethereum. In fact, there is still a centralized body governing all XRP transactions, which makes it terrible compared to decentralized cryptocurrency. We will say that XRP might not be a good investment because of the centralization problems and lawsuit problems, but once this is done, XRP will skyrocket. Now to the big question of the day: can XRP replace the US dollar? That covers it for the chances of XRP becoming the world reserve currency. We find it extremely unlikely that this will actually occur. The thing that might occur is that many banks will use XRP to transfer funds between each other because of the lower fees and faster times. The chances of most countries in the world using XRP is slim. The chances of banks using it for internal transactions is high because of the lower fees and faster times. Now, come to think of this, if XRP can't replace the US dollar, will it still pose a threat to it? I have been thinking of this, and I think most people deep in XRP already know, but I'll still want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. XRP is a bigger threat to the US dollar than Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is just kinda there. You can trade it, exchange things with it, store value, whatever. XRP, on the other hand, is trying to be a bridge currency with an even playing field in mind. Even playing field means the US dollar isn't the reserve currency anymore. So instead of having China's yuan step in the dollar's place, there's this bridge token that isn't in control of any one country. Therefore, no country can take advantage of this like the US has done with the dollar. What do you think? Is XRP a backup plan, or does the US not like the idea of losing its reserve currency status, so that's why the SEC attacked it? So we come to the end of this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. This really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Also, you can help enlighten others just like you have been enlightened by sharing this video to as many people as possible. Let's get this news everywhere, guys. If you are a true cryptocurrency fan, don't miss any of our content. See you tomorrow to talk about the latest news that concerns us all as a community.